Long as it ain't started, and I'm cool.
Huh?
Long as it
Oh,
ain't started, and I'm cool because yeah, it's still saying upcoming. Hold on one
oh,
second.
I hit the button.
Oh well, we live. That's what
Yeah.
I'm saying.
I thought you were like, yeah, let's go. And I said, oh, click.
I am live. I see it. I'm live. Live. Hi, hi everybody.
Oh God.
No intro today.
Yeah, no intro, no nothing. I was supposed to hit that button too. I be man, I'm all out of practice, man. I just be doing whatever now.
I
Low key.
mean, honestly, with me, which I know, we cross it audiences, but with me having to have my trip and then figuring out some kinks and stuff in regular personnel, I ain't filmed in 3 weeks. And that's my
Mm,
fault because I have been pushing them out weekly. But here we are today.
yeah.
We here.
We here. We live. We
Mhm.
live. Live and direct.
We are.
Live and direct. Man, so what brings us here today? What brings us today?
The Gemini twin, the destruction of
Oh, Jesus Christ.
the shaking up of the hip hop
Bull.
segment. I got a lot to say, so I hope you got some time. I ain't got nothing to do.
Oh no, I ain't got nothing else to do. I'm good.
I
I'm
ain't got
cool.
nothing to do.
I'm chilling. I ain't got nothing but time.
Nothing.
I got nothing but
Okay,
time.
'cause we gonna be here a minute. But yeah. So
Let's roll it.
of course, hey guys, it's me, Paradise Paris, and my boy Smooth. Shout out to Smooth.
Mhm.
Smooth is a person that I vouch for. I know, of course, we're crossing platforms, so I genuinely love Smooth. What a very cool, humble dude. And I really don't have an issue with doing anything he asks me to, as long as he can catch me on my time. He knows that. But shout out to Smooth for real because it's a lot of people that are around you in areas of you that will not give you free game and knowledge and just work with you. And he's one of those people. So each one, reach one, teach one. I appreciate this black man because he definitely has put me on game. And I appreciate him a lot. And I resonate with a lot of what he says, not just because I agree with him, but because he is an intellectual. I do respect what he says, even when I don't agree with him, because we do have times where we do not
Yeah,
agree.
yeah. I be on different stuff sometimes. Sometimes I be in my hole. I'm like, no, I'm not changing my mind. No, but I appreciate you too, man. I appreciate you too. I appreciated you ever since like I started following, and I don't even remember when I started following you. Like it's been a long time.
Refreshing.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
refreshing because some people they really do have that. I remember when I first followed you moment, and it puts me back into certain place in my mind because I remember everything. I'm very intuitive like that. I do remember everything, but sometimes it's like I'm glad that you've been rocking with me so long that you don't even remember where I came from.
Yeah, cause it's you and what's her name?
Fallon,
Huh?
Fallon,
Yeah, both of y'all. Like I don't know what it was, but somehow I end up in a thread with both of y'all. Like that's the only thing I remember is like we would, but I feel like there was somebody else in between there, and I feel like everybody was taking turns getting on this person's ass. Like,
that could have been a thing because most of the time, like Fallon's my personal friend. Most of the time when it's something like that happening, which we don't as much anymore, where it's a conversation on the timeline, and me and her are like
mhm,
just going back and forth, attacking this person with our different views. But now, right, the way that Twitter is set up, it's not set up anymore like an echo chamber unless
mhm.
you really get viral. And it's not been a lot of people that can genuinely really get viral. At this time, it can be 3 different conversations being had on the timeline and you not even be involved in none of them.
Right,
Unless again, it's one of them situations that happened the other day where it's like this all you see on your timeline. So we don't
true.
do it as much anymore. It still can happen with the Drake and Kendrick thing though.
Hmm.
Yeah, we in this. We we
Yeah,
in
definitely.
it. We in it. We in it for the thick of it. And it's nothing nobody can do to get out of it. I genuinely appreciate it because it's taking us away from relationship topics. It's taking
Jesus.
us away from race topics a little bit, just a little bit.
It kind of at the end there splashes back in there.
You know, on Twitter, they be having them race topics with the other sides of Twitter, as opposed to like what's happening at this point in time. Like, but just a little bit. Just it's not that much removal of the race topics. It's just a different sector of what we were doing, and it's been taking us away from like the ignorant stuff on the timeline of like just having social figures do stupid stuff. So I'm kind of happy where we are right now. I feel like this was needed because was it last year or the year before? Like it was last year, the year before last. It was hip hop's 50th anniversary. That was so disappointing.
That month came and went so fast. Like
we did not get to embrace it the way we should. I remember when we had the 25th year. I don't remember us having the 50th year was just fucking terrible. The 50th year was so disappointing. I expected there to be hip hop parties in New York, in LA, in Atlanta.
Yeah, but that just
people who were getting induction into Hall of Fame, 50 Cent got induction into the Hall of Fame. It wasn't advertised and promoted as much. Like,
yeah,
so I gotta terrible.
I gotta leave. I gotta leave and come back. I'll be right back.
Okay.
I gotta leave and come back. My stuff froze.
Okay. So yeah, like looking at that, BT was terrible. And watching what happened with the 50th year of hip hop, that was so hurtful. Because there is no way, as big of a culture as hip hop has been, not only musically, but to influence fashion, to influence money, to influence the way that people think. There have been whole universities and stuff around hip hop that have created classes and introduced hip hop into the educational system. To see us not be able to have a huge celebratory figure of hip hop turning a half a century old, I feel like everybody who is around as of today that are real producers, real engineers, real executives, real CEOs in hip hop, they dropped the ball. They should have did that for the artists. And the artists weren't really doing much last year, right? But they deserve that. Even the newer artists, the older artists, anybody a part of hip hop, good music, bad music, flop, whatever their contribution is, even the one hit wonders, they deserve to be celebrated.
Yeah, and that's for sure. That's for sure. That was depressing to me because I was like, oh, it's 50th anniversary of hip hop. I mean, BET had that one little thing that they did, and it came and it went so fast.
It was not good. It didn't have views. They didn't even block out other channels the way that they normally do. Like I remember at one point in time, don't get me wrong, MTV, Viacom, all of them. But at one point in time, it was like you would get a notification on other channels that's saying we're over here watching the BET Awards. They didn't even do that.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on now. Like TV feels like it just dropped the ball in general. Like I don't feel like it cares anymore. Like the platform, it's how it moves as a whole. It doesn't care anymore.
Well, you know why, don't you? The writer's strike.
I mean, yeah, that's half of it.
The writer's strike. So I mean, I think all of that is affecting everything, which is why we were able to put so much emphasis on music being trash. Hip hop has not been good, and everybody's so excited about female rappers, but as a conglomerate of female hip hop, female rap, I can give a fuck less about them if the men are not moving their pen. I don't care about female hip hop or rap if I don't have male hip hop, male dominated, male real variety of hip hop. And I don't know, it was something about this particular beat that was so refreshing. I didn't expect this from Kendrick. I can say this blindsided me. Did you see Kendrick doing this?
Like blacking out? Yeah, absolutely.
No. Like not blacking out. I feel like at that point it was warranted. I didn't know what he was capable of, but what I'm saying is I didn't think that Kendrick would ignite this fire. from that Like That song, which everybody keeps saying he's been taking shots at Drake for years. And of course, you've been seeing the receipts, right, of him coming in taking shots at Drake. There has been like bad blood there. I don't think we actually know to the extent of how bad the blood is. You can tell it's a lack of respect for the other person's artistry on both ends. But I did not see Kendrick starting a actual hip hop beef with Drake to this magnitude. That's what I'm saying. I could have never projected that.
So I'll put it like this. I'll put it to you like this. So Drake had to reply at this point, because if he did, he was put in a position where if he don't reply, it's kind of like everybody at the school egging you on. Like if I don't reply,
like you gotta get.
If I do reply,
he like calling you out. He making you look like a bitch.
Yeah. And you see, J. Cole was the first one to jump out the window. He's like, "Nah, I got an album coming. I'm with it." And then I think he got on the phone with both of them and realized, "Oh, these dudes hate each other. This is going to a place I don't want to go to." And I was telling people that from the jump. I'm like, "Nah, J. Cole just wanted to get out the way. He's seen this was getting bad."
Listen, I'm so happy that your mind works the way that it works, because let's just talk about J. Cole for a minute. He's one of my top. Like literally about top 5 for sure. I love J. Cole. I love him. He does no wrong to me. When I thought about Might Delete Later, he put that out immediately after Like That. It was no announcement. It was no rollout. When he put it out, he put 7 Minute Drill at the very end of that. So people were shocked. Like, you had to go and listen to Might Delete Later in order to find that. That wasn't the first song. It wasn't like We Don't Trust You, because We Don't Trust You came out talking shit. He wanted him to know, like, this is about you. 7 Minute Drill was at the very last song of Might Delete Later. And when he put 7 Minute Drill on that motherfucker, that was something you had to go find. It wasn't Kendrick sitting here saying, this nigga, here you go. No, it was, you got to like me. You got to really be my fan to know what's going on. Bless you. I genuinely believe, I personally believe, Kendrick and J. Cole got on the phone. And Kendrick told J. Cole his sentiments about why he was doing what he was doing and where he was trying to take it. And when J. Cole made that announcement, I knew he knew it was going to hit the internet, because that apology was 2 minutes long, but it wasn't the average apology, right? It wasn't him going onto Instagram and making a post, because that's something he's good for. It was, you have somebody filming you at a concert live, making this apology, and it hit the internet. This wasn't something that was leaked to the blogs, or it wasn't something that somebody overheard. It was like very calculated, the way that he made that apology to me. Because when you're doing that live at a show, to me, that lets me know, you know that this is going to hit the internet. And instead of you getting on the internet, you're going to have the people do the work for you.
Right.
He did that at a show. He had no reason to do that at a show. And, you know, typically when people are hosting or promoting or something at a show, unless they're moved by something personal that's happening with them, whether they've been filming or not, like, oh, you know, they start crying, they get emotional, they typically keep it very professional. That wasn't no average PR move. I think that had to have been a real phone call. And he knew it was going to hit the internet. And he just said, fuck it. I'm going to go this direction.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that, but my thing is, I'm really of the camp. Like, he talked to both of them, like, because he originally, I think all of this came down to him wanting to be the peacemaker between them, and he tried to get them on the song together, because it's all stems from first person shooter. He tried to be the peacemaker, get them all on the song together, and was like, this would be a great moment for hip hop. This would be great for us, because I'm thinking of the alternative universe where they do the song together. And hip hop still going crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, we still going crazy. We still having a great time. You know what I'm saying? Kendrick dropped some different music or whatever, but we still have this big moment, like, oh, our big 3 guys, they finally came together on one record, blah, 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 blah. be exciting, positive vibes. But hip hop doesn't thrive on positivity. Like it literally the greatest moments of it come from some really negative shit. I'm
I'm
sorry
okay
to
with
say
that
it.
though.
Like,
I'm okay with that.
huh?
I'm okay with that. I think that that's like something that gets a lot of backlash in hip hop. The fact that a lot of the most astute moments are negative. And in retrospect, I'm okay with that. Because the more information you learn about being black and living black and accepting the generic, stereotypical black culture of who we are,
Mm-hmm.
this shit need an outlet.
Yeah.
If you are regular, everyday, average thinking of what people deem to be black, because you know they think it's a certain type of way to be black. But if you can think of everything that they define in black and you live like that, you need something to resonate with your frustrations.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'm okay with that being hip hop. I'm okay with hip hop being a language for me that I can speak. I'm okay with hip hop being something that I can put on and I can be like, this nigga know exactly how I feel. Well,
True.
you
Right.
know,
Right.
I'm okay with the negativity that comes with it. And I know people like, oh, they talk about drugs and they talk about violence and they talk about, but it's like, you experienced that before? Have you experienced one of your relatives being shot or killed? Or have you ever really experienced one of your relatives being a drug dealer or experienced one of your relatives being a drug addict? Like, have you really experienced what it's like to really be down on your last and you trying to figure out how to make a way from no way, and then your mama need money and kids need money, and that the shit
Mm-hmm.
is like, and let me not say it like it's just something so significant to black people or something like so explicitly for us. It's
Mm-hmm.
not that. It's just that with everything that is happening
Yeah.
around the world and stuff like that, that's our gym. That is the thing that we have to be able to be like,
Mm-hmm.
I can decompress in a artistic expression, whether
Yeah.
or not I want to be a musician or not. All of us still have some type of sector into music, and R&B has always been that balance. R&B gives us the adjacent of everything hip hop. You need your love, you need your happiness, you need your melodic tunes, you need your
Yeah.
peace. And if not R&B, you get you some neo soul. But when
Yep.
you ready to feel how you want to feel and you going through shit, has always been blues and hip hop.
Yep.
Blues and hip hop speak to you.
Yep. That's true. That's true.
Mhm.
That's true. Um, but with that, like, so J. Cole jumps himself out the way, you know what I'm saying, packs himself
Mhm.
up. You know what I'm saying? He packs himself up, and then
He was
I
heavily
I
ridiculed for it,
huh?
but he was heavily ridiculed for it. But now we see he
Yeah,
made
yeah,
it.
yeah. I told people we were gonna respect his decision at the end of it. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, J. Cole is not a dummy. Like, I knew people were gonna respect. And literally the week after his album dropped, because I hate that people like get remiss on like timetables. People lose timetables in the midst of like going through stuff. I'm like, it was literally after that streaming week was over. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? Drake and Kendrick, they were polite. They let him get all his streaming numbers and all of that, and then they said, "Cool." That Friday, once that week closed, he got his number one. Bet they went for it. So then you had Drake jumped out the window. You know what I'm saying? He dropped what was that? Push-ups. Yeah, he dropped push-ups. Then he turned around and followed up with Taylor Made Freestyle. And then he was just sitting there like, Kendrick, I want you to drop. I want you to drop. I want you to drop. I didn't expect Kendrick to just drop, drop, drop. Like I didn't expect rapid fire from him.
You know what? He took all of us by surprise, and he took all of us by surprise because it was him being 2 weeks after the response. Everybody was like,
Mm-hmm.
"That nigga ain't gonna say shit." And
Mm-hmm.
then not only was he 2 weeks after the response, he is the least consistent artist of everybody. And don't get
Yeah,
me wrong, Cole don't drop often either. But Kendrick ain't. That boy don't drop. He don't drop.
not even a feature. Like at least J. Cole, he good for like a feature verse here and there. You know what I'm saying? Like you really won't see dude at all. Like Kendrick just disappears.
Yeah. Yeah. And honestly, not really upset with Kendrick, right? I feel like he put himself in a position to where now he created a whole nother demand. You had Shawn Michaels, the wrestler, talking about getting Kendrick to WWE. Do you know how incredible that is? Like, and don't get me wrong, I know Kendrick is like a Pulitzer Prize winner. When he makes music, he shakes the country. He makes music in such a different way. It's not something that is regurgitated. Like Future has his own sound, but every time you hear Future, you know it's Future.
Yeah.
Sometimes Kendrick has made songs and you just be like, this is different.
Yeah.
He talking that shit, but Kendrick has never been to me a female centered artist. To me, right? Then let me just preface this by saying this. To me,
But you
Kendrick
right.
makes music for black men. To
Yeah.
me, Kendrick makes music for the everyday, average, hardworking. I probably fucked up here and there, but I'm still trying to get my life right, black man. That's who Kendrick makes music for to me. He's a California artist, and everybody know West Coast music has their own sound. And a lot of people who are into battle rap, they also like, to me, I think that they can resonate with the lyrical gymnastics that he can put you through. I'm an intelligent person. I don't always like to listen to music that makes me have to figure out the entendres.
Yeah. I feel that. I feel that. And then he dropped Euphoria, right? So everybody's like, oh my God, you know what I'm saying? Woo, 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 he finally dropped or whatever. Then he dropped what was it? What was it like 6:16 in LA? 6:16
After
a.m. in
Euphoria,
LA.
it
Yeah.
was 6:16 in LA.
6:16 a.m. in LA.
I did not like that one.
Yeah, that seemed more like a warning record. He was trying to like ominously warn Drake, like
I could see it being a bridge record. Like it
yeah.
was just setting the prefix of what like could be coming for the next step. Like I can see it being that. Like I said, I didn't like it. It wasn't my thing. But
I don't remember it. I'm gonna be honest. Like I
yeah,
don't remember anything that was on
it
there.
came and went really fast.
Yeah, it just was words. Like I felt like you could have tweeted that, bro. Like that's how I felt. Like this is what you had to say. You could have put that in the tweet.
I don't really, and what's crazy is people was like, because I tweeted and it got a lot of traction for that. I was like, hot ass garbage. It was just hot as garbage. And people was like, you crazy. You didn't listen to it. I'm gonna be honest with you. Every single last one of them disses, I listened to them at minimum 4 times. Every single last one and no, not just, oh, you turn this on and then you went back to it. Like, no, I've been skimming, like go straight back. Go straight back to the top. Whatever you're doing, put it on pause, go listen back to what they are saying. I listened to it, I did not like it. I did not like it. I think that was one of the worst ones to me. And it was for Drake. Well, it was, give me the Drake rundown. It was Push Ups, Family Matters.
No,
It
so
was
no,
the
it was
heart.
push-ups before Family Matters with Taylor. So it's push-ups tailor made before Family Matters came out. He did that flip of Kendrick on his Buried Alive. He did that flip where he was just talking shit to Kendrick. It's only on his IG though. It's only on his IG. So
I see that one.
Okay, and then it goes Family Matters. And then after Family,
so it had to be tailor made. I did not like tailor made.
Oh, the one with the AI voice, the TikTok, the Tupac and Snoop.
And I'm gonna tell you, that's how I know what is memorable to me or not, because that shit fucking trash. Like, no. Don't get me wrong, Drake was talking. I hated it. I didn't need it. Snoop Dogg is still alive. You could have just went and got the nigga.
Damn. Come on, man.
Snoop Dogg was still alive.
Oh man. But yeah, he So the whole like the AI thing, like I didn't really get mad at it because at the end of the day, I knew it was his voice. It was him talking. He just ran it through a thing to make himself sound like Tupac and ran it through another thing to make himself sound like Snoop. It sounds just like him. It talked just like him. Like it wasn't talking like them. It'd be different if it actually sounded like, oh, this is Tupac that structurally wrote these bars. This is Snoop that structurally wrote these bars. Like this, it's tried to emulate, but it didn't. You know what I'm saying? It didn't try and
It
emulate.
was a fail. It was a fail for me, and not just because it was AI. I feel like that he was trying to be too creative, and it backfired. It wasn't just the Tupac and Snoop Dogg thing. It was like, why are you taking us through all these theatrics? And honestly, I like Euphoria. Euphoria is actually my top 4.
Mm-hmm.
You took me through way too many theatrics. Euphoria was almost a miss because you had to keep listening to it to be like, you know what, this shit growing on me. It wasn't until like, because again, I listened to these tracks about 4 times minimum.
Mm-hmm.
Minimum. So that means that if it didn't hit me at the 4th time, fuck it. It just wasn't there.
Right.
That next day, I listened to Euphoria with a fresh mind because for us, it was like, these niggas not. For us, we thinking by the time that Push-Ups and Euphoria came out, they not dropping again. We gonna be waiting a few days. It was like after that next day, I turned Euphoria on. I was like, hey, come on, Kendrick, you finna switch it up again. But he took me through too many theatrics. I don't feel like I need that from a lot of rap artists. It's cool that you guys can switch up your flow. It's cool that you know how to, change things up and this, that, and the third. But I don't really care about that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's facts. That's facts. I can pick up what you're putting down. Like I personally I liked it, but that's neither here nor there. Like to get past that, like when Family Matters dropped or whatever, and this is where things get kind of controversial, right? Because Family Matters there's two lines of thinking, right? It's either Family Matters drops and then Kendrick was ready to drop right behind it and just happened to drop exactly at midnight. That's first line of thought. Or the second line of thought, which is a bit more rare or whatever, is that Kendrick was dropping at 12 and Drake tried to get ahead of it because he knew Meet the Grams was that bad. So if he gets in front of it, he can kind of soften the blow that's coming for himself. Like, but that's two separate lines of thinking. I'm just saying with the way that it dropped at midnight, the way that the tweet went up exactly at midnight, like everything, like I'm like, I don't know if dude is up. You know what I'm saying? Like I
I ain't
don't
gonna hold you. That to me is the reason why I feel like it was a mole. You want to walk me through it?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. Give me your theory. Go ahead.
Okay. So before not Meet the Grams, before Family Matters, it was Euphoria.
Mm-hmm.
Was it Euphoria before Family Matters?
Well, you're talking about 6 a.m. 16 a.m. in LA. That
Okay.
was
That was right before. It was something he said in 616 LA. Okay. Thank you for jogging my memory. So 616 is Father's Day in Canada, right?
Yeah.
And because we all started looking this shit up and we had to like be really intricate with it and figure out what's going on. So 616 is like Father's Day in Canada and everything like that. And so he was basically alluding to like family shit. And the title of that song was very significant. It's just crazy because I really don't like the song.
Yeah.
Then when you think about this became a theme. So that 616 talks about family. Drake drops a song that says family matters. Then turn around and Kendrick drops Meet the Grams. So all of those songs are themed together.
Yeah.
There was no way that to me, right? Because again, this is theory. everybody trying to make it seem like, oh, it's crazy that Drake could have did this. It's crazy that he could have given him a mold. But even the theories in the back of the video from Family Matters and stuff all suggest that. It all suggests it could have been a leak. It all suggests that it could have been a mold. Kendrick is constantly telling him it's a mold, it's a mold, it's a mold. In my head, if I'm listening to the person who is being my op say it's a mole in my camp, why not be smarter than them and go ahead and feed information? Because you got to realize at this point in time, the way hip hop works, when niggas start beefing, people start picking sides. So imagine how many people have backed away from Drake, and imagine how many moles always tend to show their hand. They always the most person who's closest to you. I ain't leaving you, bro. You're not gonna be the person that you gonna come out on top. Like it's every single time it's a fake person around you, they tend to overplay their support way more than they normally would. It's kind of crazy. Like when you in the hot seat. So I just don't see it I don't see it being a situation where it's not a mole. I don't see it being a situation where it's not a mole because the shit line aligns way too much. Like if I didn't have somebody feed you this information, how would you so cleverly come up with Meet the Grams? How would he? Because the thing about Kendrick is like so artistic to the point you can get that nigga a goddamn water bottle and he can make the best rap from it. That's how I'm thinking about it, right? Like he basically making Kendrick have to work hard, right? With the investigative skills and shit like that, because they've been on Twitter all fucking the last 48 hours trying to find this kid, and all this other shit and discussing everything which way with Drake, moving the goalposts. They've been moving the goalposts.
Yeah.
Wow. But I just can't unequivocally see having 616 as the sentiments for Father's Day. Your whole theme is that his whole entire theme is Drake is hiding children. That I know we talk about the other shit. The whole thing for Kendrick is he is having issues in his relationship. He's a woman beater. But the whole thing for Drake is he's a deadbeat. So you got a deadbeat and a woman beater. It starts off with 616. Drake comes with Family Matters. And then Kendrick ends with Meet the Grams. And for me, that doesn't say Kendrick has actual intel. That to me tells me that Drake is playing mind games. Just based off of the things of them songs alone. Because you gave Kendrick so much information that he played off of your thing. Family Matters is Drake being in the middle of Kendrick's thing. How would they do that if it wasn't somebody who was planted? If anything, with like the prescription drugs and all this other stuff, like if anything, it caused too much confusion because when you talk about the gloves represented Maybach music. The gloves the whole plight of the picture was taking a shot at Rick Ross. Not necessarily Drake. Drake put a line in, was it push-ups that he wasn't losing sleep over this, but the only aside from the Ozempic, the only medication assigned to him was anxiety medication for sleep. Like it told you that clear as day, you could not make out the other prescription. All of this shit was how do you put it? It was kind of calculated. It was, to me, it had to be calculated because when you even look at the theatrics of how Drake was leading up to it on Instagram.
Right.
That's why I genuinely feel like it was a mole. Now, people are saying if it wasn't a mole, then Drake kind of stupid that he knew he would be talking about Epstein, and he started the verse off like, I don't know who feeding this information, et cetera, et cetera. But it's like, come on now, you got to think bigger than this. Drake is not stupid. Drake, there is like a thing now in the industry where whoever is around you, they get paperwork. They get paperwork. The leaks are intentional. Ain't nobody leaking fucking information no more. Everything is too secure. It's too airtight. They know who around
Yeah.
them. There is no way Kendrick, who is far removed from hip hop until he get ready, has a leak to a Drake mold more than anybody else in the industry right now over Future. If
Yeah.
anybody knows anything about Drake, it would be his real life, long term hip hop friend aside from Lil Wayne, and that's Future.
Well, I mean, yeah, that person, but then I mean, I mean, you have other. I mean, well, it would have to have been somebody in like the OVO camp or whatever, and
I
I
just
just
don't
didn't,
believe it.
I myself, I just didn't see that. And then when you look at the rest of the picture, right? Like I'm looking at it, you know what I'm saying? Like, cause that night, you know what I'm saying, I accepted all the information as what it was. But when I woke up that morning and I'm looking at everything, I'm like, the shirt says short T collection. I'm like,
Mhm.
that's funny. And I'm like, and then I'm looking at the meds and all that, and somebody's like, oh, Drake's father was robbed, and I'm like, Drake's father was robbed with all of Drake's stuff.
Right.
Like, I said, make this make sense to me.
None of it does.
And then when you look at the jewelry receipt, I'm like, so he went and bought 60 grand worth of jewelry, and went and bought, you know what I'm saying, this other thing that was 20 grand. I'm like, I get it, he's Drake's dad, but like, come on, you got all of Drake's stuff, his receipts from jewelry and all that, and like, this don't make no sense. And then when you look at the receipts, you realize one of the receipts is a jewelry store that ASAP Rocky worked at or had some affiliation with. Another one is a jewelry outlet for Pharrell. You know what I'm saying? So it was just like everybody else had more connections with what was going on in the picture than Drake does.
Exactly. Everybody else had more connections to, and that was my thing, right? Like they were trying to find ways to make it seem like this is so Drake, this, that, and the third. And it was good
Mhm.
for shock value because it was like, whoa, how the fuck did Kendrick get this shit? You know, but none of the stuff made sense. Like even for the jeweler, Drake
Mhm.
keeps talking about that Kendrick lives in New York. That jeweler that they brought up was a jeweler from New York.
Mhm.
That jewelry place, I mean, it just, like I said, to me, the theme of it, it was just premeditated. It had to be premeditated. I don't
Yeah.
think it was premeditated by Kendrick. I also look at the fact that, like I said, it was only one nigga we've ever seen Drake have such a camaraderie with in the industry, aside from Lil Wayne, and that was always Future. It
Yep.
was always Future. That was his real friend. Like nobody else had that type of bond that they had. It wasn't even a
Mhm.
music shit. It was like you would see these niggas together and just know these some dirtbags together. Like,
Right, right.
they just be on some sleazy shit.
Hide hide your wife
Yeah, like
immediately.
it was their chemistry. Like Drake would have Future doing shit that we never seen him do before, which is smiling. You know, they follow him out.
Dancing in that damn video.
They genuinely had a real connection, and you could tell it was organic. You could tell
Mhm.
it wasn't forced. You could tell it was just with the Little Wayne. It was more so a homage thing. You could tell Drake was an ass kisser. He was such a huge dick rider for Wayne. The things he would, the way he talked about Wayne, it's very homoerotic. The way that he praised Wayne, it was just. But I ain't gonna hold you. Minaj does the same thing.
Oh God.
It's like you can tell Wayne had a such a huge impact on the two of them. The way they talk about that man, they talk about him in a glorious way. Like
Yeah.
he's a god to them. I can understand that because Wayne was the person who took a chance on Drake. He was.
Mhm.
Aside from what was it? Something girl, material girl or something that he did with Trey Songz.
Oh yeah, Trey Songz. Yeah, yeah,
That was the very, very first song Drake ever put out, but Wayne was the person who picked him up because he was trying so hard to be a rapper. He got Trey Songz on that song, and then after that, he ended up being with Wayne. But I know based off of what Wayne did for his career, the
Mhm.
humility he has towards him, that's something different. You've never seen
Mhm.
him react or respond or create relationships that way with anybody else except for Future. You haven't seen him in pictures like that with Future and with
Mhm.
anybody but Future, even with 21 Savage. They do not have the bromance that him and Future had. That was a
Yeah.
years long friendship. And I hate that it's over. And if there, like I said, if there's anybody who can tell anything about Drake, and really speak to a testament of his character is the person who has done the most dirt with him. He did no fucking dirt with Rick Ross. They worked together, but they weren't real conglomerates. Rick Ross,
Yeah.
he was running around having Meek Mill and Wale as his shadow, and he couldn't even keep his own camp together. It's almost like everything he's touched
Mm-hmm.
has failed. I think Drake was smart enough to see that. He built the right relationships, but he didn't make them people his partner for real.
Yeah, I did a video a while back, and I was just like breaking down like everything with Ross, and I'm like, first of all Ross's biggest records outside of like three have came from either Drake, Jay Z,
DJ
or
Khaled.
DJ Khaled. Yeah, DJ Khaled. Them are his top three. And then when you look at the other songs that he's on, he is not the reason that song was good.
No,
Like when you look at like a lot of those early DJ Khaled songs, one was because you had Prime Wayne, and the other one was because you had Prime T Pain. Then you go to the next songs, it's Drake and Wayne again. I'm like,
even
then you
with
go
the
to the
songs
next one, it's
with
Jay
him and
Z. Like,
Trina, them songs did. Don't get me wrong, Trina is a very good artist. And Rick
mhm,
Ross was the she was the more um she was the more what do you
what
call it,
established?
tenured artist at the
Yes,
time,
yes.
but he was the more popular artist. She was more tenured, he was more popular. And whether people
Mhm.
want to admit it or not, when you can grab men, music stays. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
If you can make men like your music, music stays. Rick
Yes.
Ross, a male dominated artist, had a different sound, very much so. Miami, he had the rough, raspy, deep voice. It was very soothing. He was talking that shit. But even when he had songs with that were Miami based, Miami solidified, it wasn't going up like that. Like he's made songs with Trick Daddy, he's made songs with Trina, and even then, them songs weren't the ones that true.
Hmm. Yeah. Yep.
Don't get me wrong, like I'm not a fan of diced pineapples, but a lot of people like it. Songs he's done with Meek Mill, songs he's done with DJ Khaled, songs he's done with um the Nicki Minaj, You're the Boss.
Hmm.
It
Yeah,
wasn't
that's
the
good.
star power on it. It wasn't the star power on the songs at all. It was more so of, well, is this song good? Because honestly, everybody that Rick Ross has worked with, I don't recall him working with no real underground artists. I don't recall him doing the thing that Drake did, which is go to somebody who is new and upcoming and, attach yourself to them. No, Meek Mill had already had a name when he got with Rick Ross. Wale had already had a name when he got with Maybach Music. It wasn't him going to Rick Ross because he needed Rick Ross.
Hmm. Yeah, and that's the part of the last song that he ended up putting out. What was it? The Not Like Us record. Like, that's the part of Kendrick's song that like bothers me a lot. Because he's saying, "Oh, you were trying to like profit off of these guys." I'm like, no, we would not know about the Migos if Drake didn't hop on the Versace remix. Like, that's just a hard fact. Like, outside of Atlanta, people weren't gonna be end up hearing them like that. They would end up being another. They would have
They
ended
would
up being
have
another Travis Porter.
yeah.
They would have been another Travis Porter.
Um, and okay, before we get into that, because you finna put me in a bad spot, because I like me some Migos, but I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna always be honest.
Yeah.
But when I look at the trajectory of what the accusation around Drake being like this boogeyman, I look at everybody that he has worked with too, because it's a lot of you sleeping around one front door and not your other. Because let's
Hmm.
be honest, if we count it like that, are
Hmm.
y'all gatekeeping?
Right.
That's the question. Like, if we count it like that, y'all know how hard
Hmm.
hip hop is and stuff like that. Because from how Megan talked about Future getting off her
Hmm.
song that she just released, it flopped real bad. Um,
Hmm.
Future just sent her to. She's just sent Future to beat. Future just gave her a price. She sent Future to beat. he rapped over the entire beat and then just sent it back to her with whatever she wanted to chop it up and put it in there.
Yeah.
So he's sounds like he's not really hands on or in the studio with people as much as he used to be, right? He's
Yeah.
taking a very huge step back from how he normally does things. And of course, you know, Future's a writer and stuff like that. He recently just sold, what was it, 75% of his masters?
Oh shoot.
75, not his masters, his catalog.
Oh yeah, that thing he did in the
He
yeah.
sold
He did that like
75% of
2 years
his
ago.
catalog. And
Yeah.
it was everything back from 2010 or something like that.
No, there was a little bit more. There was a little bit more. There was a little bit, couple more years in there. There was a
Yeah,
couple more
so
years because he wasn't popping. He wasn't popping until like 11.
right. So some of that stuff that he even sold really didn't matter. It wasn't really his. It was his catalog, but he wasn't making music off of it. I'm making money off of it for real. But I mean, when I look at the way that he is as an artist, it's just kind of like you got your picks and chooses. I'm not mad at him for it, but you got your picks and chooses.
Mm-hmm.
So when you look at how he brands himself, and I'm just speaking for Future specifically, when you look at how he brands himself for the things that he does, he will never get to such a higher level because you can tell based off of those behaviors, this is the type of artist you've been probably all your career. You
Yeah.
don't care to make the network connections. You don't care to really entertain other people or seek them out or actually do other things that could be beneficial to you. And to me, it's just kind of like, are we mad at Drake because he knows how to use his own advantages of leveraging his name, or are we mad at Drake because y'all on him only want him to do it when y'all do it, how y'all do it because y'all are boys club? Because when I look at everybody else, they're only working with people that are already established. That's not really helping actual fire artists.
Yeah.
Today, the music industry is a lot different than what it was. You don't have PR training. You don't have actual artist boot camps anymore. You don't have
Mm-hmm.
a real artist development or anything. It's either you got your one big hit and you got some shit in the vault. You can make this song stick and you can reel
Mm-hmm.
people in,
Yeah.
or you are a moment in time. You got your 10 minutes of TikTok fame.
Facts. Facts. That's literally what it be boiling down to for a lot of people. And I feel like with like I think it's disingenuous that all of them, like, you used him to get to this wider audience, to get to this bigger place. All of them, Kendrick included. You had many opportunities with him to get
Poetic
you to
Justice was
get you.
one of Kendrick's biggest songs.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's still one of his biggest songs streaming wise and all of that.
That fucking band is legendary.
Mhm. Yeah. And so so when you have all these artists that all you're getting all these major records, you're always hitting them up, like even Metro, you hitting, yo, you can you be on my I forget whatever the project is. Can you be on there and do this song with Offset? Like, you know what I'm saying? Y'all are calling him. Y'all are ringing his line. I need that favor, bro. I need that favor, bro. Hold me down, hold me down, hold me down. And then all of a sudden, like, oh, I got beef with you now. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you a culture vulture. You ain't never tried to help the culture or nobody else out. I'm like, no, y'all have made way more money. Like, okay, let's just say, like, obviously Drake's the bigger artist, so yeah, he get a bigger slice of the pie of the record. That just comes with the territory. However, when you go look at the rest of your catalog, that one record that you lost out on, you won on the rest of your catalog from doing the thing with Drake. So it's like, what are you getting mad at him for?
That's what I
Like,
don't
what
like
what did he?
because I'm gonna be honest. I
Mm-hmm.
had this conversation in private way before Joe Budden even said this, and I'm gonna just call it like it is. The issue with Drake is that he's Jew and he's able to get away with certain things that they know that they cannot get away with. Bottom line, it ain't nothing else to it. It ain't nothing about him being white. It ain't nothing about him cosplaying. It ain't nothing about him being a culture vulture and none of that. The issue with Drake is he is a Jew. He is moving independently now. They know it,
Mhm.
and they have been sitting on and suppressing their actual issues with him. And at this time, it's like he too outside, he too popping, he need to be humble. And let me be
Mhm.
clear, I have no problem with you humbling nobody if you feel like that they slighted you. My issue is, to me, I personally feel like something happened behind the scenes and they waited on Mad Day.
Mhm.
Something
Yeah.
happened behind the scenes. They waited on Mad Day because Rick Ross even put himself in this beef. Let's just be clear. Nice
Yeah.
little rap he did too. I'm not even gonna take it away from him, but this shit just not no coincidence like that. The
Yeah.
industry has never been that impulsive. No, it's calculated.
Yeah.
They watch all they moves, they watch everything. The industry ain't
Mhm.
never just been so impulsive like that. If you're that impulsive, they will get rid of you. This is
Yeah.
calculated. And I think it's so calculated to the point where people went behind Drake's back and had
Mhm.
conversations amongst other conglomerates that did
Yeah.
not like Drake or they knew had a problem with Drake. But
Mhm.
at the base of this is something dealing with business. And I promise you, it
Yeah.
has more to do with his Jewish ties than anything.
Yeah, yeah, and I feel like maybe what they're saying is true. Like he does like own a percentage of the thing that owns a percentage of them. You know what I'm saying? And they're mad that they're now paying his bills. You know what I'm saying? Essentially, you know what I'm saying? And I think you know what I'm saying because Drake even like says like some weird, really weird lines before where he's like the 20% of you that we own is my Tootsie's money, and I'm just like. I'm like, who do you own 20% of that it counts as your Tootsie's money? Because a lot of these people ain't really making money like that. So who you own 20% of and how? You know, that's my thing. Like when I get to really thinking, I'm like, okay, so he didn't bought pieces of people catalog or he bought pieces of this business and he just been moving quietly,
So
just doing
hard.
whatever he had to do.
Is it so hard to believe? I mean, he literally owns Pharrell's jewelry. He was trying to. I don't think he has it, but he was trying to buy Michael Jackson's estate.
Mm-hmm.
He was trying to buy it.
Yeah.
I don't think. But when you also look at Drake, everybody always talk about like him rapping. I don't think people realize how long his money is.
Mm-hmm.
He been acting since he was a kid in Canada since what 14,
Mm-hmm.
and he what 36 now.
Yeah.
That's over half of his life, over 15 years.
Mm-hmm.
And Canada, Canadian actors make way more than American actors. Way more. Way more. It's not
Mm-hmm.
even on a comparative scale. Canadian actors make more. So with Degrassi running, I think they had what 5 seasons or so. It may have been a
Mm-hmm.
little bit more. He was in majority of all them seasons.
Yeah.
And that show ran for years. Like,
Syndicated.
yeah, that show ran for years. So the residuals coming from that alone. And then when you talk about like people managing money, Drake, soon as he was no longer on Degrassi, he hopped right into music. It was no stop. It was no. He never did that regular transition. And then of
Mm-hmm.
course everybody know like the deal with Young Birdman had to be a fluke, which is
Mm-hmm.
why Young Money came about. But Birdman still has ties to Drake Insight Intel. Birdman is a very deep off businessman. Despite how he handles his artists, he's grandfathered in just like Diddy. He's not going nowhere. You may not like it, but his
Mm-hmm.
ties into the music industry, he knows the old school game. He's not going anywhere. He actually created a whole nother trajectory base and was one of the people who started having a label under your label. He was one of the first ones who had a label under your label where your
Mm-hmm.
artist can come and get new artists, which he
Yep.
did with Lil Wayne. It's
Yep.
Cash Money, Young Money. Like this is he created a label inside of a label, which is something like very different. He still has ownership
Mhm.
to Tyga, who is still making music to this day. So when I look at Drake and I look at him as a business, because Young Money still controls Young Boy. Young Boy is the highest paid YouTube artist of anybody right now.
Yeah.
He's been
YouTube.
running for years. It's
Yeah,
been
ain't nobody got him.
he's blackballed from radio. Cash Money has the highest paid YouTubing streaming artist, and he's blackballed from radio.
Yeah.
That's how much of a business-minded man Birdman is, and not just Birdman, Slim too. Slim helps him with this. Slim is very much so top of management. He's the business. He's the business mind. So when I think about how Drake maneuvers in him dealing with the music industry and him dealing with his business, when Wayne went through that situation with Birdman, you never heard no ill-spoken separation between Nicki and Drake. Both of them had to learn something from that, because even Nicki now, she got some motherfucking money. Her money is very long. I genuinely feel like Drake and Nicki got to watch firsthand, and they were not the ones fucked. All the other artists behind them were. All the other artists, Mac Main and all of them got fucked. But Nicki and Drake were the money makers. They were the faces. They were the polished ones, and they were the ones to keep pushing. And they watched how that happened, and their business insight and intel is a lot more expansive than these artists today.
Yeah.
And it's bad because even with Rick Ross, I feel like Drake does have the knowledge to help restructure Rick Ross's entire label. Because Rick Ross has artists. Rick Ross doesn't know artist development. He does not know how to promote his artists. He does not know how to create new artists. And which is why his most prominent artists were already known when he got them. He hasn't been able to rebrand another artist. He doesn't have the it factor.
Yeah. That's right.
He can do it. We've seen 50 Cent do it. We know what 50 Cent is capable of. Tony Yayo is on tour right now with 50 Cent. But Rick Ross cannot. And if Drake wanted another artist, I feel like Drake can go get another artist, but I don't genuinely think Drake cares about having an artist. I don't think Drake cares about having a label. I don't think he cares about any of that. He went and played Monopoly, and he outsmarted them. And the outsmarts was like, we've been trying to do this. I don't even think they care about him making money off of them. I think it's probably a thing of he just didn't tell them how to do
it. That's interesting. That's a different take. I ain't heard that take. Because I feel like with that, like I feel like some of it I'll give some of it, like some of it is obviously personal. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like the way they move around here, like with women and different things of that nature, is reckless. They're all reckless. None of them are saints. They're all reckless. Even your boy Kendrick Lamar, he's clearly reckless.
They all are.
I'm like, some ain't right. 2015, y'all still, you know what I'm saying? Y'all still engaged 9 years later. Some ain't right.
Somebody said something on Twitter, and I'm sorry, but I want to throw this caveat in here, and I'm gonna let you have it. I want to hear what you got to say. Somebody said something on Twitter, and I didn't quote it for a reason, because I understand how my audience works, and I know what my reach is. And he said, I know for a fact Kendrick been beating the shit out of that woman, and not because nobody told me, because she went completely bald, and ain't no woman finna go completely bald unless she going through something.
Hey, look, I said the exact same damn thing as soon as I seen it. I said, man, every woman I know that cuts her hair off is going through it. She either getting sick, she either lost her job, she lost her man, she getting abused, she's not healed from previous abuse and got triggered. Like, every time I see a woman cut her hair off, like, you know what I'm saying, and do the shortcut, it is definitely she going through something. There's very few women that rock a shortcut naturally. Very few. And if they do, they've been doing it for a really long time. So it's not even out of character. For her, it's completely out of character. You look at all her pictures from childhood till now, it's completely out of character for her to have a fade.
Not even that. I'll do you one more.
Oh, it's
She
raining.
ain't been on the internet since 2 years. Her last post was in 2022.
Damn.
What woman you know that detached from the internet? When you think about her opportunities, let's just do the comparison. Savannah James,
Mm-hmm.
Vanessa Bryant, Lauren London, Sierra.
Mm-hmm.
Those women that I named, they're attached to prominent men, and they know their leverage. Sierra living life good. Savannah living life good. And guess what they have done with their husbands? Use their social media as an opportunity to garner attention by
Mm-hmm.
simply just being family women. Nothing else.
Mm-hmm.
They have
Yep.
influencer projects. They have all type of brand deals and ads associated with them just for simply
Mm-hmm.
posting how much in love they are, how happy they are, and what they do as a mother and a wife. Nothing else different. But when
Yep.
you look at Lauren London and you look at Vanessa Bryant, they have went through something extremely traumatic, and they don't have
Mm-hmm.
much social media interaction at all. It's hard for them to see it.
Yep.
So using those two different examples,
Mm-hmm.
that bothers me a little bit. I don't think that that's normal for women today,
Nah, it's not normal at all. And anybody that
especially
says
when
it's
she's making
normal
her
is
own
cap.
money outside of him. This that was that her association to Kendrick, her like she knows his reputation, but her association to him could literally just be a bag for her, and she choosing to not do it.
Yeah, and my thing is this, like, if anything Drake is saying is false, she could have immediately just came up and said, "Yo, listen, this is false. This is false." She could have deaded it herself. She could have deaded it herself. It would have been immediate. Boom. And you've seen plenty of other women
Don't
where
bring my name up. You're not going to tarnish my husband or
Mhm.
my children's
Yeah.
father on my behalf. Please don't bring my name up. I do not want to be a part of this. I should not be included in this. If you can't make a rap without using me, just keep me out. It could have been something so very simple. Women
Yep.
don't control their mouths very much when they know men are into it, especially a man she has interest in. I do not believe it.
Yeah.
And we've seen it happen with Daphne Joy and 50 Cent. 50 Cent
Mhm.
only used Daphne as an association to Diddy. Her and Diddy have been fucking around for years.
Yeah.
And not only have they been fucking around for years, Diddy and 50 been beefing for years.
Yeah.
Diddy and 50 were beefing when him and Daphne were together before they had their first child, their only child.
Mhm.
Daphne has ties to the industry. She's a model, and stuff like that. And even she came out and spoke up about it when her name got mentioned. And that woman
Mhm.
has been very reserved, very kept. Like her
Yeah.
friends are the top of the top in the industry. She hangs with Kelly Rowland and Lala Anthony. She is around Vanessa Bryant. She is around Naomi Campbell. Those are her friends. She is around the Kardashians. She don't have no regular Ricky Deep friends in the industry. She has the top of the top friends. That's her group. That's her social
Mhm.
group. And even she spoke out and said, I don't want anything to do with this.
Mhm. Yeah, so I think there's a lot more to be said to that. Like I seen people start sharing this picture of her like doing one of the child's hair, and they're like, "Oh, she's in Brooklyn." And I looked at that photo and I was like, "Look, man, I done been in New York. There ain't a lot of trees, there ain't a lot of grass, and it's all super high skylines and all this. Like, ain't no way." I'm like that behind her, that's not. I'm sorry, like building structure is too new and all that. I said that's not Brooklyn. I'm
I'm
like
gonna be honest
that's
with you. I'm gonna tell you something else I noticed that nobody else paid attention to. In every one of them photos that they have on her page of her and Kendrick, Kendrick's not holding that little boy
mm-hmm.
in not one of the photos. Even on
Yeah.
his album cover, he is not holding the little boy
Mm-hmm.
in their regular photos. He has them in a actual video. He is not holding the little boy.
Mm-hmm.
The little girl replicates, look just like him, stole his entire face. That
Yeah.
little boy, who kid is that?
Right.
Because based off of her phenotype and based off of his phenotype, that don't even DNA metrically make sense unless he was the
Right.
first child.
Mm-hmm.
Because you got the example of how the first one came out. And the first one shows that Kendrick's DNA is the dominant one.
Yeah.
She got her daddy's skin tone. She stole his whole face.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Meanwhile, the other kid, man.
Albino looking. He got red hair. He don't even look light skinned. He's just brown. He's not even like he's not he's not one or two tans darker than his mom. He is darker than her and lighter than his sister. He's
Mm-hmm.
brown skinned with red hair.
He has red hair. Oh, that's crazy.
Let me see if I can pull it up. Hold on. I'm gonna share my screen. Give me a second.
Okay. 'Cause damn, I ain't even know that. I didn't even know that. So my whole thing is you know what I'm saying, to damn, it's raining like a motherfucker outside. Um my whole thing is with all of this, right? Like I don't see how in this beef, right? You know what I'm saying? Drake drops Hard Part 6 or whatever just to finish the timeline out. That Kendrick got away with not addressing a thing. Like, I'm like, how did y'all let him do that? He never actually responded to a single record. He wasn't making responses anymore. Like, Meet the Grams isn't a response to anything. It has no
No,
direct ties back to nothing. When you go to Not Like Us, it has no ties to nothing. And it
no.
was unnecessary. It was absolutely unnecessary. It felt like hey, let me bury a narrative before this gets started. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna just do this record. It's gonna be completely outlandish, and nobody's gonna want to hear what Drake is saying no more.
Let me tell
But
you another thing that I
that's
did not
only gonna
like.
last so long.
What is happening here? This is not my Instagram. Hold on. I'm gonna
Trying
tell
to
you
hear.
another thing that I do not like. I did not like the whole moving the goalpost.
Yeah,
What the anticipation should have been for him and Drake.
yeah.
And what I mean by that is, oh, okay, I don't know what this is, but okay. I don't know how we here. Hold on, 1 second. Blush.
Are you good? You good? Yeah,
Okay.
mm-hmm.
No, I didn't like the whole moving of goalposts when they talked about the whole Drake and Kendrick thing, right? Because it's like Kendrick was just overlaying information. Like he was just overlaying information. He wasn't like when he first started, I understood it because everybody was giving him a hard time, and I was just like, well, he's just trying to character assassinate Drake. Like, I don't think his whole purpose was to spill new tea. You know, he wasn't trying to tell
Mm-hmm.
us something different. He was just using what he already had
Mm-hmm.
just to build his case, which is why I feel like again that there is a mold because he was building off of what Drake had already put out there. So you can
Yeah.
just take the same trajectory from Euphoria because people was listening to it. They was like, he didn't tell us nothing new. And I'm just like, well, he doesn't need to tell us anything new. He just needed to get his shit off.
Right.
But he did the same thing in, 616 and he did the same thing in Meet the Grams. Like he was
Mhm.
just overlaying information. But what I didn't like was they was like, oh, Kendrick boring us. He putting us to sleep. He needs to make a club this. And then when he made the club this and Drake came back with the hard part 6, before then it was, well, Drake just gonna make some shit y'all can shake y'all ass to and that's gonna get y'all riled up. That's gonna let y'all listen. But when he made the Heart Part 6, it was all this judgment and ridicule. Moving of the goalposts was just annoying to me because I feel like what we got to see wasn't just them attacking each other. We got versatility in music. They both showed you they can do both. The Heart Part 6 was what everybody said Drake could not do. Get in the booth and go rap. It wasn't no theatrics. It wasn't no extra shit. It wasn't no, oh, I gotta make this. No, it was he got in the booth. It was Pen and him. That's it. It wasn't nothing else. It was this is Aubrey.
Right.
And
Facts.
I feel like that they didn't think that Drake could do that.
Yeah, and my thing is, I feel like everybody's calling the game now, because my thing is like those allegations, right? Because the thing with Drake and the underage women thing or whatever, that shit's just gonna exist with him forever. He's kind of just stuck with it. Whether and no matter how many women, huh?
It's been around a while.
Yeah, and no matter how many times women come out and go, no, Drake hasn't done this. Drake is a sweet guy. He's so nice. He looks out for me, blah, blah, blah. No matter how many times women come out and do that, after it's all said and done, it doesn't matter. Like, that narrative's just going to stick to him. So he's just stuck with it. You know what I'm saying? It's just the same thing with the ghostwriter thing. He's just stuck with it, unfortunately. Whether somebody ghostwritten or not, whether somebody's actually credited or not, he's just stuck with it. You know what I'm saying?
I think he has accepted it at this point. And it's just different in this situation because this is a actual rap battle. So people are putting it on the jumbotron to like address this. Like you got to talk about this. We've been saying this, but based off of what your point is, and you're not wrong, there has been multiple women who have came out who have said he's been nothing but this type of person to me, and people have refused to accept it. I'll even go so far as to say we know his history with super promiscuous women. And it's just now that he's been called a freaky ass nigga. But Drake was tied to real strippers. Lyra Galore, Johnny Blaze, Miracle Watts. He was tied to real strippers. You know, like even though Bria Miles is not a stripper, he was tied to her as well. Like he has always been tied to overly sexual women. So it's like the whole freaky ass nigga thing. I don't get it because it's like, are you telling us he likes trans women, or are you telling us he like builder broads? When he said they think that they're real women, I'm gonna be honest. The gay shit to me ain't tea. I don't give a fuck about them niggas being gay because I don't have no interest in them anyways. And then it's like the whole colorist thing, or you know, they don't really care for black women. It's like, why do y'all use us as a weapon of mass destruction to make us deter from listening to these niggas that we have a high infatuation with? Y'all want us to play off into the colorist thing. Y'all want us to play off into the whole disrespect the black women thing when it benefits you. But at the same time, y'all are also the ones who are telling us we overreact too much when certain shit come out. You can't pick and choose when you want to use us for a wild card to say don't support this artist. Because let me tell you something. If you start doing it now, what's going to happen is it's going to be the same way moving forward. And it's already kind of been that way with Bill Cosby, with R. Kelly, with Trey Songz, with Chris Brown. They cannot get away from it. They cannot escape it. That's something that I'm not really fond of. But I want artists to stop using black women as a catalyst of the barometer of all things moral. Because when we do start to overreact and move just off of emotion, a lot of y'all not gonna have no fucking platform no more.
Yeah, that's facts. That's facts. Because my thing is, my first person is Rick Ross. I'm like, bro, you was talking about dropping Molly and champagne.
I mean, let's take it way before. Let's take it after that. As of right now, today, his baby mama is on the motherfucking internet. She has a whole platform talking shit about him and the type of dad he is. And guess who she resonate with?
Black women.
Come on now. And if she keep on, She gonna say the right thing, and she annoying a little bit right now, but she keep on with this. She gonna say the right thing, and she gonna come up off of his name. And that whole shit with 50 Cent, it ain't even gonna matter no more. Because now you're gonna see her as a victim, even though this child in question is 17 fucking years old. She's still on there talking about her trope as a single mother. And she resonated with black women. And her whole antics, her whole theatrics, her fucking with his girlfriends ain't got nothing to do with nothing. Mind you, people seen she was just at his house in September, kicked up. She was just over there chilling with him in September 2023. Here we are in May of 2024. And she a mad black woman on the motherfucking internet about a 17-year-old child who finna go to college.
Right.
You don't need nothing else to add on to it. I want these artists to be a lot more vigilant and thorough when they start throwing black women in shit. Because if anything, Kendrick, he got some questions to answer when it comes to Whitney. He got some questions to answer when it comes to them domestic violence allegations. Because you are seen as quote unquote the Messiah. You may not want people to view you that way, but you have been the activist of hip hop. You have been the popular, well-renowned activist of hip hop. You have always been in the front of sponsorship for the black voice. He's always been the dominant black voice. Why comparison? But in a lot of ways, the nigga remind me of what do you call it? What do you call it? When reincarnated Tupac.
Damn, that's crazy.
You think about what Tupac stood for.
Yeah.
What he rapped about. The comparisons are right there with Kendrick.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true. That's true.
So I did not like that. I did not like that because sexual assault, anything predatory, that's hard to talk about. We see what's happening with the industry right now. It's not the time. It's not also a good time for black men to be taking assertions like that and trying to apply them on some gossip.
Yeah.
In hip hop.
Yeah, that's serious allegation.
This is not a good time for no shit like that, which is why I have not been, and I know you see it. You've been in my mentions. I've been in yours. I ain't been talking about none of it. Not the pedophilia, not the abuse. I don't want things. I don't look for shit like that to be true about people. And that's the bad part. They like these artists so much. They want the most heinous shit about the other artists to be true. And it's like, do y'all comprehend what you're asking for?
Yeah.
And do you know what this means for a person like Drake, who has that level of status of hierarchy? He is the only international artist in this fucking beef. This is not good. You don't want, and not to say that these men are not capable of these things. That's not what I'm saying. We don't know these people. It's always a possibility. But the attachment of these type of labels, even for Kendrick, these are detrimental labels that y'all are pushing around, and the public is running with it and carrying it to the point where it's like, this is not something you want black women to get a hold to at all. You know, and don't nobody cancel like we cancel. You could try it. This ain't what you want. This will change you.
Yeah, because
the baby would have been able to come back from shit.
Who?
The baby.
Oh yeah. No matter how good he's rapping, like, and he was rapping like like the rent is due.
Do you hear me? That boy been rapping his ass off.
Ain't getting a stream.
That boy been talking his motherfucking shit. He did the fireman, and that got him a little traction. This nigga is like the most notable man you can think of. He always got his kids. Even since doing the whole thing with Danny Lay and the drivers and the drunk driving shit, you see he stepped up. He ain't make no excuses. He ain't try to, justify what she did. He just went and became a family man. He just took it on. This is a toddler baby. He just
Yeah.
took it on. And it doesn't matter what he does when you have women as your audience, you
Mm-hmm.
trying to draw women in. This is hip hop. This is black women. They don't have that type of star power. They don't have that type of leverage right now in this particular environment. Like where we
Right.
are right now, maybe if we got a
Mhm.
little breathing room after this little Cat Williams shit, this Diddy shit, maybe we get a little breathing room. But right now, we're in a nasty climate. This is not
Yeah.
something you want to put black women in the midst of it and say, hey, pick your favorite devil. You don't want that.
Yeah, yeah, because my thing is like you're asking for, because like even with the women that were coming out saying like no, Drake didn't do that. Like I literally seen somebody go, well, no, this is da 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 da. You were assaulted. I'm like, bro, you are literally trying to tell somebody that if they've experienced something horrible. Like you should not want it to be true. Like none of these things you should want to be true. And if either party, Kendrick or Drake, has any part of what they've said to be true, it's a wrap for them. They're both packed up. And we don't want this for our black artists. You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing. Like y'all have to, as much as y'all want to say Drake a white boy, he can't say nigga no more. Like as much as you want to be like that, he was black 4 weeks ago. Okay, he
He
was
was
black
black,
two
but it
months
was
ago.
convenient for they motherfucking ass.
Yeah, he was still black. Y'all now complaining about him just now. Like it's
And
fake.
I ain't gonna hold you. I've seen a few times where they like call Drake. It's been shit about Twitter. You know how they go.
Mhm.
But they call Drake a groupie,
Yeah.
and they made the sassy commentary about him, this, that, and the third. But I never hopped on it because I realized after he even talked about how many times he's been engaged and stuff like that, it was the ego of a lot of women that the enamoration they have around this very successful man. There was no woman that could make him do what they wanted him to do. And women had
Mhm.
a problem with that. Even though the whole thing about the engagement rings were fake, right? Like it's
Yeah.
still the idea of this him saying that made women pay attention to him more. I'm so infatuated with you. I would love to be with you. You're a handsome, clean cut,
Mhm.
talented man. He comes off as a hopeless romantic. So even with him having the baby, it stained him, but not that much.
Yeah.
It
Because
wasn't until
women
women
date men with
realized,
kids all the time.
right? And it wasn't until women realized, like, oh, you'd had this many women and you couldn't find one to just love and stick with. That's when
Mhm.
he became a problem because it made women realize, like, he's gonna always play the field. And so when they seen that and they seen him attached to all these younger girls, the Sexy Red just turned 26.
Mhm.
Tyler ain't number 22. Ice Spice ain't number 22.
Mhm.
When they see him attached to all these younger girls who were popping, what I hate about this shit is they forget at one point we would have been in that position and felt the same way them girls would have felt.
Bro, look, hold on. Cause look, I said the exact same shit the other day. I'm like, if you as a dude, right? Cause I had a bunch of guys on here last night or whatever, and pretty much everybody was capping. But I'm like, look, if you as a dude, you in your 30s, we're all in our 30s, girl come up to you, you're not asking her age, you just gonna see if she fine. You find out she 21, you slowing down? No, you not. She fine and she like you. You're not you still finna go through it for the night. You still finna go through it for the night.
And let me tell you why. It has, and this is why I hate the whole conversation about the underage shit or they're too young for you shit. Realistically, most adults are not in other arenas where consenting adults cannot be.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the things that we do for recreation are already centered around people who are our age or they're allotted to be in those spaces.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very hard for me to believe because we don't do it. This is why I say, and this is just kind of make your point about men not slowing down. A lot
Right.
of times, Black women are not running into these bombs the way that they say they are. That's
Right.
because when we first meet these men, we've already financially assessed them.
Facts.
You look at his house, you look at his car, you look at how he dressed, you gauge him to see where his money is. So
Yeah.
when you find out he's struggling on hard times, it's already the presumption you thought he had fucking money. So it's the same thing when it comes to men dealing with women that look a certain way or shaped a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not gonna say that because that I don't want that point to be misled or mistaken. But I
Right.
will say all of the lines are blurred now when you have 22-year-olds looking like 35-year-olds and 35-year-olds looking like 50-year-olds and the 50-year-olds look like 22-year-olds. There was not a
Mm-hmm.
time in history where we were able to buy and afford the luxury of our beauty this way. It was
Yes.
not. It used to be a hierarchy of people who would stand apart. It used to be very rare that a 33-year-old woman looked as good as we do now.
Yeah, that's facts.
And you could tell it used to always be that one or two people in your class who had to find mama.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody else looked
Yeah.
like a motherfucking mama.
Right.
Everybody today is
Oh me.
behind mama.
Yeah.
It's hard. Like, and it's always been that way. You have women now who are having kids still at 22. And then you turn
Mm-hmm.
around and you have women who are having their first child at 36.
Yeah.
And they go into the same fucking pickup line. And these women are looking the same exact way. You cannot
Yeah.
differentiate with the age anymore. It's very difficult. There used to be
Mm-hmm.
a time when you could tell, oh, she ain't nothing but a young bitch.
Yeah.
It used to be a time.
Yeah.
And so when you think about where you go, I'm gonna tell you why this is so hypocritical to me. They
Yeah.
completely understand the relatability of what an older and a younger person can have when we're working in the same job environment.
Mm-hmm.
They understand that completely. Miss Ethel, that's one of my best close girlfriends at work. Yeah, she older than
Right.
me, but that's my home girl. So you have a lot to talk about when you with an older person at work, but all of a sudden you don't understand what an older and a younger person can talk about now. And so when you talk about Drake, the life that he lives, the shit that these women are exposed to, we
Mm-hmm.
all know the women in the industry do not get along. We all
That's fact.
know how Nicki Minaj acts when it's time for a new girl to come up in the rap spot. And let's go even further. When the last time you seen her, Summer Walker, Ari Lennox, Beyonce, Rihanna, any of these artists go and make a song with a new R&B artist? Are they ever pushed to do so? You don't see Jill Scott and Erykah Badu going to make a motherfucking song with a new artist who doing R&B.
That's facts.
You don't see that shit.
That's facts.
And you see what's
Highly
been
competitive.
happening with the girls in hip hop. You gotta pick a side coming in. It's either Nicki or Cardi B. And once you
Yeah.
pick that side, it's gonna set the pace for your fucking career.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's still no guarantee of you working with either of them.
That's facts. That's facts.
So I don't get the whole, oh, well, I shouldn't be this way, it shouldn't be that way, this, and the third, because let's be clear. You can't win for losing in this situation. If you
Mm-hmm.
come in as a young girl artist, you bait. A young girl artist, you're bait. Don't let you be hot. And
Mm-hmm.
don't let you kind of have like that high femininity to you, and it ain't no
Mm-hmm.
Megan Thee Stallion shit. You're
Yeah.
real bait. And guess what happens? Either you get passed around in the industry, or you got to stay put up. And being put up, you're not gonna have a career for long.
Yep.
So why not go and attach yourself to an international artist like Drake? Because Chris Brown ain't working with no area anybody. Don't get me wrong, he do. He do work with younger artists, but it's not often.
Nah. I'll give Chris Brown a little bit more credit.
No,
Like
I'm
when you
not
go,
taking away from Chris Brown. I know he works with younger artists. It's just not as common as Drake. He don't reach down as much as Drake does.
um, just in just by knowing his catalog, like when you go look at just his feature line, like yeah, he actually does. He does a lot more features that people don't even hear.
I believe
Like
that because a
he
lot
does
of this
he
shit
does
was
a lot.
underground for a long time. A
Yeah,
long time. But I
his feature
but
amount is good.
mainstream, like, and I think that that's the difference too, right? Um, I let me just preface it by this because with Chris Brown, I don't want to take away from him. I know what he does for other artists. I will say he is not too quick to brand himself with other artists like Drake is. Let me say that.
That's fair.
Drake will.
That's fair.
He's
That's
not
actually
afraid to be seen in photos. He's not afraid. A follow from Drake on Instagram is a lot.
Mm-hmm.
It gets noticed. The fan pages pick it up. If you get followed by Drake on Instagram, you're more than likely you have a staying group.
Yeah. You finna jump at least like 50K
Yeah,
in one.
right. So let me just say that it's not considered the branding, Chris Brown, and that's why I also have an issue with this because when you look at how the girls reacted when they were paying $1,000 to take pictures with Chris Brown backstage, or when you think
Mhm.
about how these are regular everyday fucking women, how they
Mhm.
hopped up and they were talking about the girl who danced with Chris Brown on stage, or the girl who danced with Neo on stage, or the girl who danced with
Mhm.
um was it Mario or Tank? It was one of them.
Yeah.
But these are your regular everyday accounts. These are
Mhm.
people just behind a fucking account. They're going to these shows and they're the ones going to show their ass when they get the opportunity on stage.
Mhm.
So you're not telling me at 30 plus if you weren't in the room with Drake, because mind you, these are the same men we're trying to say who are our peers and we're trying to coerce them into being with women their age, that if you seen Drake and you had the opportunity to be under him and you're trying to be in the entertainment sector, you wouldn't take it. I don't believe it. You're not gonna sit here and call him all these sassy bitches or act like, all of these other things matter. No, because you would immediately understand who the fuck you're dealing with.
Yeah. 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 It'd be known. And the thing is they know it up front, and you have that respect factor of that person where you go, okay, you know what I'm saying, I fools with you this way and that way. I'm a you know what I'm saying, I'm gonna do this, you know what I'm saying, I want to make myself available to you. Do you need anything, Drake? You know what I mean? Like you can tell when a woman actually like fools with you and fools with who you are and like what you're doing and how you're trying to move and where you're trying to be, versus when you have a woman that's like basically like she sees herself a little bit above you. You know what I'm saying? Whenever that happens, excuse me, like the dynamics of the relationship change.
I agree. And I just think that a lot of this, like I said, a lot of this shit is hypocritical because even I was looking at it and I was basically saying, right, like y'all give more credit to Eminem in hip hop than you
Yeah.
do Drake. Eminem is an actual white man. All this white privilege and its advancement, and let's be clear, Eminem had domestic violence allegations. His baby mama was a drug addict. He went
Yeah.
through the ringer. He has a very bad reputation. He was literally harassing Mariah Carey,
All day, every day,
harassing her.
every album.
Harassment. It wasn't funny. It was a real thing. He was harassing. She made a whole song about it that went very high on the charts.
Oh yeah, it was a number one.
It was a number one.
Yeah, she always gets number ones.
And you mean to tell me that Eminem is more credible because, oh, he doesn't switch his language? Eminem is more credible because Oh, he knows he's white. You mean the same man that made a diss about black women? You mean the same man that has stood beside Dr. Dre, who has had multiple domestic violence allegations? That's where I'm having an issue. You telling me Drake is the culture vulture of what fucking culture? Of his own? Because he can't be black when y'all pick and choose. That's where I'm having the issue. Drake has never hid his mom. Culture has always been very much.
She get a song every album. She get a song every album. It be deep and sentimental every album.
This woman is always somewhere around. She in every picture. She in every award show. He makes it known. This is my mom, guys. You know, this whole, oh, he's cosplaying. No, Drake speaks very intellectual. He speaks very educated. I don't understand how y'all don't take that in the turnoff. But when I said, y'all know these women in hip hop picking the most ghetto parts of the black girl to be just to sell it to you and don't none of them act like that, it was a problem. So to me, that's cosplaying. Nicki Minaj is not ghetto at all. By far. That woman is very fucking intelligent.
Yeah.
And guess what? When you listen to her music, she talking like she a hood bitch on her best songs. She's wearing bamboo earrings and having up tennis shoes and shit like that and talking about beating bitches' ass.
Yeah.
Nicki Minaj does not act like that.
Yeah, that's true.
Megan Thee Stallion is talking heavy about fighting and tussling and all this other shit. And guess what? It's the same woman that did an interview and said fighting so ugly. I don't like doing it. That's so ugly to me. I don't like. She don't carry herself in a manner of she's walking around being a loud, ghetto, boisterous bitch. But they cosplay the hood all the fucking time. So what culture are they stealing? Because they ain't been in that shit either. They haven't been in it. Cardi B is probably the only person who ain't fucking cosplaying. Glorilla, she cosplaying. That girl grew up in a 2-parent household. The only thing going on with Glorilla is she illiterate. That's it. She ain't fucking. Everybody from Memphis talk like that.
Yeah. No.
Everybody like that. I know. She's fucking illiterate, bro. She not talking like that because she hood. No, she is slow.
See the child that got left behind.
That girl dumb. She dumb as a box of fucking rocks.
Oh shit.
She C average at best.
Oh my god.
The only A she probably got was in PE.
Okay, that's fact. That's probably facts.
But everybody from Memphis talk like that. They think that sound is hood. No, everybody from Memphis talk like that. NLE Chopper, Yo Gotti, fucking Dime Piece, K Michelle. K Michelle is an educated woman. She sounds just like Glorilla. It's their dialect. That's where they come from. That's their area. It's not. It's not. She hood. No.
Yeah.
That girl grew up in a 2-parent household and she got fucking parents who were in the church. Her daddy was a pastor. She not hood.
Yeah.
She's very well kept and put up. That don't mean she don't know how to fight, but she's not hood. They're cosplaying. This is why I have the issue with them saying Drake is a culture vulture, this, that, and the third. Because as a black person, if I grew up in the suburbs, you're going to tell me I ain't black enough.
Facts.
But if I come from the hood, you're going to tell me I'm too motherfucking black and I need to be more polished.
Yeah. There's no right.
No winning here.
Yeah. There's no right or wrong way to be black. Because I know coming up for myself, you know what I'm saying? Like I had to deal with the fact of like, look, all I did was watch cartoons, watch anime, play video games. That was it. And read books. You know what I'm saying? I was just smart as shit. That's all I did. You know what I'm saying? So I got all the time, why you talking white? You know what I'm saying? Why you doing this? Why you doing that? Like I can get in my bag and be that way, but most of the time, like I just be trying to like now, like I guess like I kind of like balanced myself out over the years, like through life experiences, I balanced out. But before, like that's all I was, and still at my core, that's the bulk of who I am. But like at the same time, like it just gets annoying that you know what I'm saying. Somebody has to reprove themselves black, reprove their loyalty to themselves. Like
Let
it's
me
what you already are.
let me
Like how
add
can you?
to that. When you look at his origins, they like, oh, he didn't grow up this way, this, that, and the third. I would have more of an issue with the fact that his daddy was a deadbeat and he was still
Mm-hmm,
having to go be around his family. Um, I want to say it was "Look What You've Done." That is a
mm-hmm.
piece to his grandma on his daddy's side, if I'm not mistaken.
Damn.
That song is about his grandma, but I want to say it's on his daddy's side.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like again when beneficial because let's be clear, Drake been moving around with his daddy a lot. Like, you know, he even put in songs how he trying to build the relationship with his daddy and stuff like that, like how that's affected him and the man he is today. But if anything, I would say that that is more of a reason to stay away from him because he has the imminent fear that he's going to turn out just like his father.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And we don't know what this situation was like between his mom and his dad and why they didn't work out or even if they were ever together. But
Yeah.
I ain't gonna hold you with him not trying to settle down. Don't get me wrong,
Mm-hmm.
niggas don't grow up all the time, but with him not trying to settle down and with him having that type of association with his daddy, that's the nigga that you want to leave you alone. You
Mm.
want like he know he got daddy issues. Like you know, like imagine that you gotta be in a whole nother country at your daddy people house, knowing this man somewhere around and he still don't want to fuck with you.
Yeah.
Like, do you know how uncomfortable that could be for a kid? Like, I came here to be with my dad or see my dad, but we still got an estranged relationship, and I'm here with people. I know they my people, but they not my dad.
Right. Right. That's facts. That's facts. And I know he would used to call home and be like, "Mama, I want to come home."
Man,
Mama, I want to come. Like I've seen a couple videos where, like, you know what I'm saying, young Drake was singing with his dad or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So they had like some brief little moments together, but nothing crazy like that. You know what I'm saying? And his dad was still out there. You know what I'm saying, shooting up the club in different areas and all that. But I'm just wondering, like, what do y'all want Drake to do to be black enough? Like, what would it take? What would it take? What would it genuinely take?
I don't know because that's where I'm having an issue. Like, okay, so they talk about.
Like, where's the bar? That's what I want to know. Like, what is the bar?
I've been trying to avoid saying this. I'm gonna be honest with you, I have been trying to.
Hmm.
But if that's the case, we shouldn't have Cardi B at all.
Yeah.
I'm gonna even say this one. This is the one I've been trying to avoid saying. Beyonce did the same thing when she went over to Africa and made it was the album before her and Jay-Z Black album. It was before Lemonade when she
Hmm.
made that tribal dance and if we gonna be clear, that's culture appropriation.
Mm.
When she went over there with some African kids and they taught her how to do that dance, that wine dance,
Yeah.
brought it back over here.
Hmm.
If we gonna be clear, Chris Brown has done culture appropriation.
Hmm.
He making Caribbean music too. He got DeVito on his songs, and
Yeah.
it seems like people are having an issue with the crossover Um,
Yeah.
where the R&B artists, they used to only be able to do one of two things: either enter rap and be primary rap and do R&B from time to time, or enter pop as the R&B artist and be a little successful at pop. But
Mm-hmm.
Megan just got on the song with and I could be wrong. I want to say it's Dua Lipa, but it could be another Hispanic artist. It wasn't Shakira. It wasn't Shakira. That was Cardi with Shakira. But I want to say she was rapping in Spanish on that. I know Nicki has a song where she's rapping in Spanish, and Nicki has always changed her
Mm-hmm.
voice.
Right.
She's always been seen as animated. I
True.
want to understand the difference because is it culture appropriation or is it artistry?
Mm.
If you're thinking about an artist, Lil Wayne did it when he was skateboarding and he made the rock shit.
Yeah.
He changed his whole look. He
No,
changed his
you're right.
entire look.
You're
He
right.
started playing the guitar and everything. And he was not a rock artist. He was still a rap artist, introducing rock into rap music.
Mm-hmm. Mm. No, you got a solid point there. You got a solid point there. And I don't know where people want the bar to be. And that's why I personally I just accept people for what they are and what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? Like, because it's not my place to grade on whether or not you're appropriating a different culture. That's on the home country. You know what I'm saying? So if Africa feels like you're appropriating them, if Jamaica feels like you're appropriating them, if the UK felt like Drake was appropriating them, they would say so. But
Yeah, but us
they ain't never made no complaints. They like, oh, we love this. We love when you do records with our artists.
but that's the also the issue that I had with K-pop because K-pop
Mm.
ain't nothing but off-brand hip hop.
K-pop is cultural appropriation, Loki.
High cultural appropriation. You see how the motherfuckers be dressed? They say everything. K-pop is culture. They was like, you know what? We finna look just like them niggas out of New York
Mm-hmm.
and LA, and we done with it. And it's very much so cultural appropriation. There ain't no way around it.
Yeah,
Did
that's
you
right.
see them Indians in that video that went viral? That nigga was talking his shit. Them Indians, they
Oh
was
yeah, the dude was. Hey, I don't
he
know what
was
he was
cracking
saying,
his
but hey,
ass
that's fly.
off. He
It's
was
on fly.
spitting.
It's on fly. I was like, hey, get this man a
Go
deal
on.
right now.
This go on. Translate me. Trying to see what
Right,
he's talking about. This that
right.
heat.
I need a whole album of this.
Exactly. This that heat. You know,
Right.
so I would do you even one better, like Bad Bunny. He cross over into what we be doing and shit like that. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't this is where I'm having the issue.
Yeah.
Because it's not just Drake. It's the fact that we can acknowledge majority of music derived from black people.
Mm-hmm.
You want Barack Obama to be black. You want J. Cole to be black. You want Kamala Harris to be black.
Mm-hmm.
You want Meghan Markle to be black.
Mm-hmm.
When it benefits you,
Right.
Jesse Williams.
Mm-hmm.
All these people are mixed. But when we talk about the first black president, Obama didn't have our type of upbringing
Mm-hmm.
at all.
Yeah.
At all. But this a motherfucker, y'all walk around talking about, I know he smoke weed. Look at how he walk. Look at that pimp on him. He got Michelle. I know he up in there smelling like cocoa butter. This is the type of shit that they say about Barack Obama. The nigga was at fucking Harvard. I know he listened to Jay-Z. This
he
the shit
still
they was saying.
he still put out a music list every year.
Every fucking year. And guess
Yeah.
what? It's majority of hip hop artists on it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that's where I'm having the issue. What's the constitution for being black? Because him and Michelle didn't meet in high school
Mm-hmm.
at all.
Yeah.
No. And he
Yep.
technically wouldn't even be actually black. He's African.
Mm. Right. You're right. You're absolutely right. Because his dad is from
Not
Kenya.
a black American. He's African.
Yeah.
What is he, Nigerian or Kenyan?
Yeah, I think it's Kenya. I think it's Kenya.
He's not even technically black. If anything, Drake would be more black than him. His dad is from Memphis.
That you don't get more blacker than Memphis. The only place you can go outside of that is Atlanta.
The Chitlin Circuit. Memphis was one of the hearts of the Chitlin Circuit in the fucking Bible Belt. And black people, when they migrated from the South, when they didn't go to Memphis, they went to Detroit. When they didn't go to Detroit, they went to Chicago. Them was the places where they went.
Facts.
When they wanted to do music, they stopped in Memphis. When they wanted to go and have more money and shit like that, they went to Chicago or Detroit. From the South.
You're right.
Memphis just wasn't that far from home. If you was in Louisiana, Mississippi, or Arkansas. Memphis just wasn't that far from home. I know I'm from Arkansas. It's 2 hours. It's a day's drive.
Yeah. Yep. You get there, get what you need, hang out, blah, 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 and go back home.
My grandma used to go back and forth to fucking Memphis. Just because. It's right up the street. I got some cousins that live in Memphis from Mississippi. Because it's right up the fucking street. It's one highway we take.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't like that. That's the part that I don't like because it makes it too easy for people who have our similar phenotype of being a light-skinned, black, or mixed person to come in and start doing and saying everything that you want them to do and say, and then all of a sudden it's a buy-in. Because Kamala's still riding the wave, and her heritage has been discussed more than one time. And it's very clear it ain't too much black going on in there.
Yeah.
Or even with Tia and Tamara Mowry. They mama black, they daddy white.
Yeah.
And
we own one sister and we own the other one.
Tamara get called the white twin, Tia get called the black twin, but these bitches ain't never been around no black people like that. That's what kills me. Tia get called the black twin. Happy birthday to Tia only. Yeah, happy birthday to the black twin. What the fuck do you mean? That's they have the same upbringing. These people been working since they were toddlers. They've been working all their life. They ain't never been around you niggers.
Well, hot damn.
Ever. Have you heard Taj Mowry speak?
Mm-hmm.
He speaks so eloquently. He's so intelligent. The whole swagger jack and this, that, and the third, it makes it too easy when you are perpetuating a certain type of likability.
Yeah.
It makes it too easy to welcome in certain type of people of being black. And that's where I'm having the issue with Drake, because if you have to say he is not black because he's appropriated certain culture, then I have to go back and ask what culture. And then that puts me at the basis of you talking about his own culture, because the same people are saying that Eminem grew up in Detroit. Eminem grew up in a fucking trailer park. You know who are mostly in trailer parks? Poor white people.
Yeah.
That's who is in trailer parks. I don't care about him growing up in Detroit. To insinuate he was around predominantly black people because he was in Detroit is fucking disingenuous. Just because you said it's Detroit. Yeah, I understand Detroit is a black mecca. That don't mean he was around niggas. And
Mm-hmm.
even if he was around niggas, that don't give him a reason to pretend to behave like niggas. Because I feel like it's real ironic that every single time black people go around other cultures, we still somehow, some way act black. But when they come around us, they also act black.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Everybody absorbs what we got going on, but we don't absorb shit. Yeah, we stay black. We stay who we are. We stay
Most
firmly planted in our
ethnic
roots.
white males who are gay, they act like a black woman. Where the fuck you get that from?
Yeah. No, that. Hey, that's something that's disturbed me for a really long time. For a really long time. But see, you can say that. You can say that. I can't get away with saying that. I say that.
Jack
I'm
Harlow.
I'm I'm doing hate speech.
What Jack Harlow act like a wigger
That's facts.
from the swag to how he even got his haircut.
Mm-hmm. No, you cooking. You cooking.
So
You
you
cooking.
mean to tell me it's more acceptable for 50 Cent just because he's from Detroit, just because he can rap how you like for him to rap, not 50 Cent, Eminem. You mean to tell me for Eminem,
Mm-hmm.
an actual white man, to be more accepted than Drake, who has literally just used different facets of entertainment to entertain you niggas?
Mm-hmm.
Because in every interview, he ain't acting tough. In every
Mm-hmm.
interview, he ain't acting like he talk a certain type of way. No, he's speaking very
Mm-hmm.
intellectually. He speaks very poised. He's always with
Mm-hmm.
his mother and his son. You don't
Right.
see Sophia as much because they not together. You don't owe Sophia that.
Right.
You know who she is now, but you don't see her as much. But all in
Mm-hmm.
all, I have a huge issue with the sentiment because you basically telling black people they're only black if they can grow up in poverty.
Right.
I don't like that.
That's facts. That's facts. That's facts, man. That's facts. Man, shoot, man.
I'm stuck.
Yeah, I know. I see you froze. I see you froze. Cause normally when yeah. So she'll be back. She'll be back, y'all. But yeah, I really feel like he does not have it. The chat. Y'all are what y'all going at each other's neck? Oh, that's crazy. That's crazy. Um, my whole thing with this with Drake. Like, I feel like no matter what he does at any point now or ever will be enough. You know what I'm saying? People like, oh, Drake doesn't talk conscious. He did a whole song with Snoop Dogg when Snoop Dogg was called Snoop Lion. And that verse was probably the most conscious thing I ever heard from this man. You know what I'm saying? And it got no recognition, flew under the radar. It just was there. You know what I'm saying? But the fans, we heard it. You know what I'm saying? I still got it on a playlist right now. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just like, y'all don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like people don't make an attempt to actually learn anything about somebody. They don't make an attempt to actually try and confirm their biases. They just continue to double down and triple down into their biases to then reinforce their own narratives. You know what I'm saying? Um, but I do want to ask y'all in the chats that are here. You know what I'm saying? Like, do y'all feel like Kendrick needs to address anything? Do y'all feel like Kendrick needs to reply? You know what I mean? To any of the allegations at all? Does he need to deny them at all? Does he just walk off into the sunset and get victory without addressing any of those claims? You know, how y'all feel? And let me know how y'all feel. Is she coming back? That's what I want to know. I want to know if she coming back. Hopefully she is. Because we didn't officially end. But uh I will tip my hat to Kendrick for getting the dub. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like it's kind of a little dirty dub because you didn't actually address anything. Um yeah. You good?
I think so. I'm trying to load.
Oh, okay, you don't know. Okay.
Can you hear
Yeah.
me?
Yeah, I can hear you just
Okay.
fine.
Trying to get it to come up.
Drake should address what you just said in a great song. Now
What?
I froze. Man, this is bogus. This is bogus. Hold on. This is crazy.
I'm frozen again.
Nah, I had froze. I had froze. So even if you had came on screen, like I wouldn't even know it. Yeah, there you go. It now I can see you. But yeah, because my thing was done. My whole internet was done. Do you have any like closing thoughts you want to make? You know what I'm saying? Because feel like we've been at this for like 2 hours straight. Holy shit, she just left. God damn it. All right, so look, I'm gonna keep it a stack with y'all, you know what I'm saying? I do appreciate her for coming on here. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna wait for her to come back before I actually end it. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you guys like the video, you know what I'm saying? If you've been in the live, like her video. If you're watching from her channel, if you're watching on mine, make sure you like the video. You know what I'm saying? Just so we can, you know what I'm saying, we can get pushed up that algorithm. You know what I'm saying? Let YouTube know that y'all like and support us. Oh, she said I'm frozen. Go ahead and close that. Okay, cool, bet. So look, I appreciate y'all. She appreciates y'all. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you subscribe. So look, let me answer this. Every single disc has more plays, bro. Something's wrong with that, bro. Something's wrong with that. Something's wrong with that. That's not. It's not real. Like something's not right. I can get into that anyway. But you know what I'm saying? Make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe to me. Y'all like, comment, subscribe to her. You know what I'm saying? Follow us on Instagrams and all other socials. I'm Smooth from the Homeroom Smooth podcast, Homeroom Smooth YouTube channel. That was Paradise Paris. You can find her on Twitter as Paradise Paris. You can find her on Instagram and Twitter and all of the above as such. Thank y'all so much for watching. We up out of here. Hey y'all, have y'all a good one. Peace.